Oh, good afternoon, everyone. We're going to start. We're waiting for a few people, but they'll be able to make their way in. I'd like to thank everyone for coming to this kind of celebration of the I3P's 10 years of making an impact in critical infrastructure protection. I am Zach Tudor. It's the name on the program. I'm here trying to channel our co-chair and the actual sponsor of our program, Martin Weibarn of Dartmouth. He was called away. He's currently the acting provost, and his duties have started to overwhelm him as opposed to us lesser human beings who would have been swamped way earlier than that. But it's my job to thank you all for coming and give you a brief overview of the I3P and talk about why we're here today and the work that we've done over the past 10 years. Hopefully I'll be able to see these slides. And these are Martin's slides, so if the presentation is a little bit off, you can blame them. If you really like it, it's the value that I add. So the history, once again, meeting a federal need, and not just a federal need, but a need for critical infrastructure for both government and industry infrastructures. So the PCAP developed the idea that we needed more in the area of cybersecurity research in 1998. The IDA developed a study in 2000 that talked about the details of an I3P concept. White papers were developed, the typical Washington, D.C. Type of scenario, right? Let's have a great idea. We can think about it a little bit more, and hopefully no one will kill the good idea in favor of a bad idea. But then in January of 2002, the I3P was officially funded and started at Dartmouth College. So our mission statement, we try to identify critical challenges in information infrastructure protection and address those needs in multidisciplinary research and a multi-institutional type of environment. So I'm very pleased to be here. I was telling Tony Stramella, our first speaker, that I'm not just a fan of a lot of the people here in this room, but I'm a fanboy. I have kind of grown up in the mature cyber era, and from the senior leadership in cybersecurity, people like Sherry Flieger, Cy Goodman, George Sabenko, and to some of the younger researchers that are making new inroads, people like Kelly Kane and others, that just makes it really exciting to come to meetings every time we come together quarterly or whenever we work on projects together. So it's really very awesome, and I'm just pleased to be here working with them. But of course, we also wouldn't be here without our government sponsors. The Department of Homeland Security, both the Science and Technology Directorate and the National Cybersecurity Division have been stalwart proponents and sponsors for our program, as well as the National Science Foundation and the National Institutes of Standards and Technology. And I believe that some of our sponsors couldn't make it. I don't see the NIST people here. Can any of the sponsor representatives, both present and past, I see Brenda there, please stand up and let us recognize you guys and say thanks. So. Perry Peterson, the Control Systems Program, thanks. So we are a 28-member consortium spanning, and I definitely can't read that chart. Hopefully everyone else here knows, but we are comprised of both national labs, nonprofit research and development organizations like my own, and some of the leading academic institutions and research colleges and universities across the nation. We feel that we have a unique model. As I mentioned before, we do institutional, interdisciplinary research. We try to put the best minds together to develop proposals to address issues and then to develop solutions. So we look at the human aspects of cybersecurity. We look at the technical aspects of cybersecurity. We look at economic models. We try to bring those together in a holistic approach to answer these questions. We also like to engage industry and engage government, our stakeholders, both in developing the proposals, understanding the issues, and then in developing the solutions. So engage early, engage often, return, give workshops, show the industry and the public what we've learned, and lather, rinse, and repeat. We feel we've had some impactful research projects over the years, and these are just a sampling of some of the projects that we've done in the last years. Safeguarding digital identity. I can't read these. DESSEC, that's all right. You guys can read them. I know that we've also worked on process control security, a set of programs that I was fortunate enough to work with several of the universities here. We had a major impact on the oil and gas and the critical infrastructure community in those projects as well. Some of our current projects, we're looking at information sharing, something that's very near and dear to my heart and something that we all know really has to improve in order for us to combat the rapidly emerging threats that are facing us. Policy, perceptions, trade-offs, how do we determine what is the best protection to use for the limited resources that we have? Usable security, obviously, if people won't use the technologies that we develop, then we've just been wasting our time. And also a recent project that's just about to get started is the CSIRT, how to understand what makes incident response teams in the cybersecurity realm more effective, how do people work together, and once again, in an interdisciplinary way. Both human behaviors and technologists and economists, say that word, working together. And so by that, we like to feel that we meet real world needs. We do a lot of technology transfer. We provide training for some of the tools that we develop. We provide symposium. We write papers for both academic and mainstream journals so that way people can understand the research impact that we've had and how it can be applied in various domains. So we don't think that we're developing things that are specific in any one particular field or domain, but in the areas of cybersecurity, whether it's oil and gas, banking and finance, critical infrastructure, Department of Defense, federal government, we should be able to transfer a lot of what we have learned to all of these areas. And like I said, we bring the stakeholders together. So our sponsors, like the government agencies that have worked with us, also the stakeholders, the asset owners, companies like Chevron and Shell and others that have worked with us over the years, vendors of critical infrastructure equipment and other information technology equipment have all come together to work with the I3P to help solve problems that are of importance to the critical infrastructure. And also, this is my favorite slide. As I said before, I'm really happy to be here and kind of in the middle of the long-time research leaders and the young research mavericks that are coming forward. So our fellowship program, our fellow program has been very valuable in bringing new people into the world of cybersecurity and also letting them develop relationships with these key researchers in the field. So I think it's been a very valuable program. One of the people there on the slide, Min Young Kim on the bottom, is an SRI employee. We're very happy to have her and very happy that she had that experience as an I3P fellow. And of course the vision, stronger cybersecurity, being able to understand needs, risks, trade-offs, and be able to make coherent policies, make projects that make sense to stakeholders and be able to transmit results that make sense for our critical infrastructure. We want to have high impact. We want to continue the impact that we've had in the last 10 years. And we want to be a trusted national resource. I don't know who does that part, but I doubt there'll be any questions. Are there any questions about the I3P? Good, thanks. I didn't want to have any. So, but I would have been willing to answer one. So I'm glad that Dickie didn't do that for me.